See if I can get... Oh. And Craig is just going to straight up not join us.
Craig is going to straight up not join.
Craig's like, you know what? Craig's been put out of work. I think Geek is coming. He's taking his job. And Craig just wants nothing more to do with us.
I'm thinking you might be onto something.
But Geek is here and he will record for up to 6 hours. So we're good for the next 5 hours and 58 minutes and whatever seconds.
Hi guys, and welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast, a show where we discuss tips, tricks, and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing the game even more. What makes us different? Well, for starters, we're not streamers or YouTubers. We just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 info, news, and opinions. We do encourage your questions and feedback. You can contact us either by email at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com or on Twitter at twotitans_hunter, and that's the number 2. Now, on with the show.
And we're back.
And we're back, sports fans.
Yep.
Welcome back to Respawn's here. Craig's here. I'm here. This hoster's here.
So, we have a busy week this week. Did you see the size of the TWAB?
The TWAB is rather long, lengthy, meaty. I think they actually got double meat, double cheese, double everything on this TWAB this week.
They absolutely did, man. And I saw what you said about, it might be 2 hours depending on how Respawn is about the changes. Don't get me wrong.
He is. Don't be disappointed, everyone.
They're not exactly optimal, all of them, okay? But at least in this instance, I understand why they did it, which lessens the anger, doesn't eliminate it, but it brings it down to what some people would consider a normal level.
A healthy amount of anger. Well,
healthy amount of anger.
I think really that's all that new book learning you've been doing and all that research you've been conducting as you've morphed into your new warlock self, as you've been going through some changes and becoming more of a warlock. I think it's led you to this greater understanding, of the world at large, and looking back and reading through the old dusty tomes. So I appreciate you this internal change you're making. And this is a safe place for
one of the old guys that we used to play with. He used to be in our clan, Sig Dragon, right? Long time ago. He's since moved on and doesn't play Destiny anymore. But he was talking to me Friday night, right? Mm-hmm. And he's all like, "So, sorry I've been gone a while, but how's the state of Destiny?" And we talked about all the changes, and he's freaked out because he's missed a lot of stuff, right? And so like, holy crap, I might have to get the next DLC. I'm like, yeah, dude, you totally should, right? So he's really happy with all the changes that have happened since he's been gone. But then he said, "So what's this I hear?" And I blame you for this, by the way. And he goes, "What's this I hear about Warlock Master Race?" I'm like, "Oh my god, no, that's not a thing."
You start. No, I think we all agreed at like the show 1 of this season, the Warlocks are the Master Race. They are the Stasis Master Race. That's why Bungie day 1 had to go, okay, the Warlocks, they're a little strong. They've destroyed everything, including the development studios. So we're going to need to turn things back just a little bit.
Just a tad. Right?
Warlocks are our new Master Race. That we just have to come to accept it. It's hard for all of us, but that's just how it is now.
But anyway, yeah. So after a long extensive talk about the whole thing about where it came from and where it's going and what it means and all this other stuff, right? I finally, talked him off the ledge about no, because he's a hunter main. I was like, no, it's fine. No, hunters are still really good, right? If you know how to play them. Yeah. Despite
you'll be fine as a hunter. They gave you a giant ice cyclone. You'll be okay.
Right. And then he goes, well, and here's the funny thing, right? After I went through this whole spiel and gave him all this information, he goes, well, I was actually talking about your name. And I never even freaking noticed that you guys changed my name from Hunter Master Race to Warlock Master Race, dude. Completely just because I never look at my own name. Who does that, right? Who reads their own name? So whenever he saw that, and I went through this whole thing, I felt like such an idiot. It's like, you could have stopped me like an hour ago, dude. It's like, if you just wanted to know the name, I could have told you about the name and fixed it because I didn't know it had been changed by my troll-ass co-hosts, right?
That must have been nice even because I didn't even realize it had ever been changed.
Yeah, somebody changed it to Warlock Master Race.
Oh, that's too funny.
That's not funny. That's not what we do here.
No, it's very funny. You had this whole long conversation. He was like, actually, I just wanted to know.
No, it was funny because he did get a lot of information he didn't know, and there was a lot of back and forth. But it was only after I finished all of the changes that have happened in Destiny since he left did he tell me that part. It's like, well, okay then.
He came back 20 minutes later. He was like, so I was actually just asking, Oh, that's amazing.
Do we have a third? Is ARF coming? I don't know.
I don't know. I realized we planned and plotted and schemed, and then I was like, I should probably ask our lore hunter if he's available, because I don't know. So unknown, at 2:45 our time he was awake, then he was in the grocery store.
Well, yeah, around 8 something this morning, whenever I said, hey, because I was gonna record with him just the lore stuff, me and him, and save that recording for later, right? If he was available at that moment. So I was like, hey, are you here? That was like after 8 this morning. He said, no, I'm shopping. So now it's 10. It's 2 hours later. I'm hoping he's going to be available.
Hoping he's not still shopping. Because if he is, then I have more questions.
So it's just us two. We don't have a third of any kind. No warlocks, no hunters, no titans. None of that.
No, I think it's just you and me.
Just
the two of us.
Oh, the editing is going to be insane. I am so sorry ahead of time, Nitedemon, even though I'm really not. But, whatever. Oh, goodness gracious. So, Twab. Let's go. Do you have any notes that he sent you and not me again?
I do have this one detailed note that I need to read that I'm Peroty. This is Respawn. We are absolutely without the British this weekend. They've abandoned us, left us to our own devices. And all of you people get to enjoy that now.
Right.
We are one Titan and one Hunter. I'm sitting in the snow. You're probably sitting on a beach somewhere, sipping my ties because you're in the beautiful land down under.
A little bit,
not down under. That's the different land. That's the land with the angry spiders.
Actually, at this point in time, you are correct. I am lower than any other part of the United States currently. So.
Not quite underwater, but close to it.
Right. Getting there.
Yeah, so we may have lore for you this week. We may not. We may have a 12 discussion for you this week. Well, we definitely will have that. And other than that, it's hard to say. We've got some tips, tricks, builds, and guides. Some interviews for people. And did they nerf Shadow Dive? Did they nerf Whisper Fissures? Is everything broken? We'll let you know later on. Now we've teased, now we've taunted, and that's all the notes I had. So yeah,
we're talking to. As soon as they heard that all the British people were gone, everybody just shut off the show today.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, it's the Americans. God, the stuttery guy and the screamy guy. Here's what you get.
Mm-hmm. And they are. They're only here for Demon and Arf's voices. That's all. We are just background noise, and I use the word noise, according to me, very vehemently. Okay. So, yeah, as soon as they heard that, they're like, oh, well, there's no reason to listen in. So I think you and I can just say whatever we want. You want to talk about other games? I think we have free reign this week.
Yeah.
I have a screaming baby. Stand by.
I think so. I think this could become the Stardew Valley podcast, where we could talk about the best way and you can walk up to another chicken and it'll say Respawn is feeling very happy today because you feed him every day, you give him a heater in the barn, and he's very happy about such things.
Speaking of which, Respawn already had his food. I prepared.
So welcome back to this week at Games That Are Not Destiny.
We have the Twabe this week. Is there anything that he sent you to read before the Twabe?
No, the only thing he actually sent me was to poke fun at you for being a warlock and the couple of videos we'll talk about at the end.
As a matter of fact, I haven't even played Hunter because now that I've got the Eyes of Tomorrow, whenever somebody needs help, strictly warlocks in the raid. No more Hunter in the raid. I'm sorry, sweetie, but you're done. You're going to see some more play when the season starts and have the power level again, but for now, you're retired. You sit over there on the shelf with the Titan that rarely ever sees the light of day.
Mm-hmm. The elf, the Titan, and the warlock all sit on the shelf waiting for Christmas.
Not Christmas. God, no. I hope not.
So are you excited about the seasonal challenges coming? Because we're all so tired of doing the same weekly bounty from the same vendors every single week. We're going to have seasonal challenges now.
If it's what I'm thinking of, then yeah, right? Because these seasonal challenges help you get up to, 14,000 glimmer in a season?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's at least part of the glimmer or bright dust dump, not glimmer dump.
Bright dust,
I hope we get more than 14,000 glimmer in a season. Otherwise, the economy's. We're about to have a 2020 economy where we're all unemployed. Going, you could buy this, but there's no glimmer to go around. Sorry.
Can you imagine all the Guardians just hanging out in the tower trying to sell stuff? Hey, take my gun! I really need some glimmer. Just trying to sell like the weirdest guns. Hey, I have a retired. You know what? The joke's not funny because I forgot the name of the gun. But the hand cannon that everybody used last season in Crucible, man. That's it. Dire Promise? No, not Dire Promise.
This isn't Sunset. This is rare, limited edition, small batch.
It's not available anymore. That's what it is. It's not Sunset. It's not available. Yeah. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
It's a collector's item. Mm-hmm,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that 1,050 light level. Don't worry about that. It's fine.
Okay,
it's fine.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Although I guess before we get into that too deeply, remember how Nitedemon spent last week? Poor dear sweet Nitedemon spent last week giving us in-depth details on how to get through the Harbinger mission and where the enemies were, where all the feathers are.
No. Once he got to that part, I just stopped listening to the podcast.
Remember how that was a thing that occurred in the world, and he was very excited and spent a lot of time working on it.
I do remember that. Yeah.
You know what they did this week?
What?
They changed all of it. They changed the feather locations. They changed where the enemies were. They up and changed it.
I just blacked out, and I'm hearing in stereo now. That's weird. Woo! Goodness. Okay, the light is coming back to my world. Whew. Okay. That's funny. Does he know? Is he aware?
Oh no, he's very aware. He's the one who told me, because I still not set foot in that mission because I don't care about the Hawk Moon. I have the Hawk Moon. I don't care about random rolls of it. It's going to sit in my vault forever. Or likely until someone says, "Hey, I need help with this mission," I'll say, "Sure, I'll come along and shoot things." Because
I feel as though I should do it, but I don't have the drive for it, man. Is that weird?
No, not at all. Because I'm right there with you. It's honestly, it's another hand cannon. And
yeah,
the only hand
if
cannon.
We're talking like the Zalo Supercell or something, I'd be all over it. But the Hawk Moon,
right? Let me reroll a sweet business or something, and now we're talking. But honestly, another exotic hand cannon, I just can't care about it. Now let me make my malfeasance better. That's the one exotic hand cannon I use. The rest sit in my vault and never get touched. And yes, I know they're good, and I know they're PvP, and I know blah blah blah. I don't care. I'm not a hand cannon person. I use the malfeasance because I like the way it feels. And I like the way it murders Taken and Gambit. That's it.
Malfeasance is actually an underrated gun, dude. Like, I also like the Malfeasance for a lot of reasons, especially lately after they upped the magazine by another 5 rounds. It's even better.
Yeah,
right?
The thing holds 20 rounds, and the kickback on it is not. It doesn't feel absurd like a lot of the other hand cannons.
Yeah,
like I actually feel like I have some control when using it.
Now, that being said, I don't know if you have one. But the Raid hand cannon, I got the roll with Reconstruction and Rampage.
I surely do not.
Oh my god!
I have.
Dude, I have 27 rounds that just reload every 4 seconds, and I have Rampage just constantly going to. That hand cannon is evil. It's the only time in years I can say I actually had fun in the Crucible is with this hand cannon, because it's just like I never reload. What's reloading? I don't know. Haven't heard of it. I'm going to keep going. That with the slug shotgun from the Raid 2? Dude, you never have to reload ever, man.
Reloading breaks your immersion. That's just what it is.
It does, dude.
It takes you out of the game when you have to stop and reload your weapon. No, just keep firing.
And dude, it's such a surprise, too. Like, whenever I was on a kill streak, I think I was like on a 5 or 6 kill streak. And I pull out my shotgun for the first time, right? Because I haven't needed to pull it out yet. And my shotgun's got 14 rounds in the magazine. I'm like, oh, this is going to have some spice to it.
I'll be here a while. You hang on, hand cannon. We'll get back to you in a minute.
Yeah. Anyway, So those are good, right? Don't get me wrong, Malfeasance is amazing with the 20 rounds in it and the extra explosive destruction. It's amazing. But never having to reload a gun with Rampage constantly procced is also kind of amazing.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong, sir. That's entirely how I want to play this game. Reloading is dumb.
Oh god, I hope this coming season. So you know how they're talking about there's going to get new perks on the moon weapons that aren't anywhere else in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of hoping. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be the same thing as the raid, right? Because you're not going to get double magazine capacity like the raid. But what if, right? What if there was a perk that was as good as the raid perks, but different? You know, I'm not having a lot of hope here because Bungie, but I want to be hopeful. You know, thank you, phone. Now I know I got to turn you off.
Yeah. Bring all the stuff back with the new perks. Like I've been impressed and pleased with what they've done as far as the perks go. Like, yeah, I mean, you know, with the new raid perks, with the new, even just like some of the new seasonal perks that we got this year, like it's been a nice change just to have the new perks in the pool and them feel like they're worthwhile. Not just you can do more damage while you jump. It's like you can reload 2 shotgun shells at a time. Okay, now you're talking. Like this, you know, it gives me some hope to, you know, have a reason to get some of these new weapons, not just it's a new gun. It feels different than the other gun, and it has different perks you don't care about. Yay.
Yeah, a lot of people like that double loading perk on the shotgun from the raid. I much prefer that it loads itself all the time. But they were trying to sell it to me. They're like, hey, you know, that's cool and all, but like, what if you have the shotgun out and you run out of rounds and you're like in the thralls of combat, right? And you go to load a round and now you have 2 instead of the 1. It's like, you say in the thralls of combat, right? But, you know, I'm sorry, let me back up. You say if I run out of rounds in my magazine, but you're forgetting I have 14 of them. If I've wasted 14 rounds without dying, we have other things to discuss besides reloading at this point, you know?
Then everything is fine. Yeah. I've got a thing on the Bone Chiller, like because it can roll on some of the new seasonal stuff too, and I have it on the Bone Chiller shotgun. It's like it definitely has, just like everything else, it has its place. But yeah, I mean, I was just enjoying it, like in Crucible. Like if you have two rounds, you can put them both in at once. It gives you that, you know, since I don't have a shotgun that holds 14 at a time. Yeah, you know, let me hold 2. Let me either kill 2 guys or get a guy and finish him off if he, you know, dodges, jumps away from me. But anyway, we digress.
You know, I never hear you asking for like, not just you, but the Xbox people in general. I don't ever see anything in the band or in the Discord about anybody setting up a raid. Y'all need to get that stuff squared away, and I will 100% be there to help y'all out if y'all need an extra person, dude.
Oh, that's because I haven't even thought about raiding in weeks. There is only work. There is no raiding.
Oof. Is it still that rough? Are you going to get any kind of not reprisal, any kind of breaks anytime soon, dude?
Yeah. The end of the year, I took like a week and a half. It was great. And,
goodness.
And now this is the problem when you work in a world. I mean, similar to your world, when you work for a company that does event management on WebEx and Zoom as a platform. And your job is to manage the WebEx and Zoom part of that and build stuff into a product. Yeah. So that's why, you know, like I'm getting, I mean, just the tiniest little look into like what it's like to build software, because that's part of what my job is now, is like writing the tickets to say, here's what we want the software to do, here's how we want to do it, and then the developers actually, you know, make that happen. And then we test and bug fix and go about our day. And I'm like, if I can't get a single thing like this to happen, if I can't make the API say yes and that show up on a page somewhere in HTML, I don't know how you make video games.
Well, I mean, like I said many times, as a programmer, it's actually not as bad as what you think. It's complicated, right? There are a lot of moving parts, and when you're creating something as big as a video game, you have multiple different people doing different parts,
right? And
they all have to fit together. The problem with that is, like coding is almost like handwriting, right? There are kind of like overarching, like everybody does kind of the same. God, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah,
you know, you have standards, right? You have standards, right? But how you make it do the thing can be done so many different ways in programming, especially if they use something as complicated as C or C++, right? You can get to that same functionality 100,000 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to plug in your code with this guy's code who has his own signature and just hope it works, right? Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you're all supporting a product that was written many years before you even got here, and you don't know why things are the way they are. You smile and nod and go, comment this line and say, I don't know what this line does, but if we remove it, it all falls down. Right. So never touch this line.
That's why, like, whenever there's a bug, I try to give Bungie a break when it comes to bugs, because you cannot find all the bugs on your own. That's why you send it out to people to test, to field test, right?
Yeah. Especially something on that kind of scale. Like, nothing is going to survive contact with Guardians in the world on all the various languages, Xboxes, consoles, PCs, all the variables that you can't test for all those variables.
Mm-hmm.
Or just think of all the crazy crap people will do. Like Cheese Forever's video this
Looking
week.
At you, Froggy. Yeah. Cheese Forever.
load into a Nightfall with the symmetry in the Revolution mode and go murder another Guardian, which is a thing you can do.
You can do that actually in the raid too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all the different places you can do it, but whenever we're waiting in space for the rest of the team to get there, we constantly kill each other with the freaking that gun symmetry. Yeah. But it's only with the like empowered rounds, right? You can't just shoot them directly, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm using the Revolution.
Yeah. But and like we're saying though, when it comes to bugs, I give Bungie a break. But when it comes to the stuff they do with the nerfs and whatnot, where like they keep nerfing hunters here and there and there and there and there, but they don't touch Titans, or they give the Titan something overpowered and it's great, and then they give the hunter something overpowered and it's great, and then people complain, and then they nerf it. It's like, that's the stuff I complain about. That's not programming. That is favoritism. That makes me angry.
Because there's so many more hunters, so it's so much more obvious. See, if your class was less played like the Titans, then they wouldn't have as many people complaining because there aren't as many Titans.
It's okay. Look, even with all the nerfs, I still think the hunters are probably some of the best class. And plus I have an army. So I have an army of hunters that even if we get nerfed into oblivion, we still have the numbers, so we will overcome any obstacle that's presented to us, unless, of course, it's an event.
Games.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless, of course, it's an event. It's very specifically designed to find out who likes what class the most, and then the people that have the best class get nerfed because they like it the most.
Because they gave up and they don't actually love their class that much. They just
dude, we got cheated.
You did, and now you don't have a tiny statue that is absolutely worthless and meaningless, and still has all three class things on it. So the whole thing.
We have the statue; it's there. We just don't have the gold part of it.
yeah. It's like why? Anyway,
that
was a really good idea on a spreadsheet somewhere, and then I think somewhere between idea and execution, something fell through.
Yeah. The moment they said let's nerf X numbers, that's when it just went to hell. Sorry.
And they're like, here's your reward, a tiny statue. No one cares about her. Could find immediately.
Yeah.
So hope maybe some of our questions will get answered when our new trailer goes live in 3 days from now. Today's 31st will be recorded on the 2nd of February. How is February here already? December was approximately 6 months, and January has been like 4 minutes. So January's over. Bye, January.
If you say so. Like, the whole year flew by for me, man. It's been a crazy, wacky year. And I think my old age is getting to me because, the weekend comes, I lay down, I take like a mid-afternoon nap, and then 9 months have passed. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I don't know where the last year went. It was all a blur of frantic work.
Speaking of, you were talking about the Guardian games, right? But I got a shell. I don't know where I got it from, right? But it's a ghost shell, and it's got a snake all around the ghost shell. I don't think it's the Guardian Games one, right?
I think that's Guardian. That's the Guardian Games. I think
because I never participated. There's no way I could have gotten their ghost.
You could have picked it up on something else, or I don't remember. I don't remember when. And
is it in the world loot pool? Hold on, let me double check.
No, I think you had to get it that week. I think you could pick it up from somebody. Because I have all three Guardian Games ghosts, and I just don't remember where, how, when. And I remember getting them because of the only things with the Quick Sparrow perk and the extra XP perk on it at the time.
Let's see. Nope, it is not the same. No, okay. So, all right. So the ghost you're thinking of has the head that comes up a bit off the shell, and the tail at the bottom comes off a bit off the shell, right? So it looks like it's wrapping it, but it's not completely coiled. The one that I have,
not the rival hunter shell.
Yeah, no, it's not the rival hunter shell. The one I'm talking about is called the constricting ghost shell. And I have a shader that makes the snake completely black and my ghost shell completely red. So it looks like I have like a black mamba, like encircling something that it just killed or whatever. It looks really good. It's so way better than what I was getting at. Is even the Guardian Games ghost shell isn't as good as like this constricting shell that I found, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just like, even the one thing that I would have gone for is still not even worth it,
Agreed.
So.
Yeah, it was worth it at the time for the perks alone on those shells, and now that those perks have been added natively to Ghost, and you can now actually masterwork a Ghost, you can actually use whatever you want.
Yeah.
So before the show even comes out, in Tuesday, we'll have a trailer that will tell us all the things, or none of the things, or will hype us and give us no actual details, which is usually how this all works.
And so our co-host Alternate Personality, right? He put out a video this week, and he in the thumbnail he was talking about new exotics, right? Next season's exotics, and I'm all like, hell yeah, let's see what's coming. Not one. He just said, "Oh, there's going to be new armor exotics, and there's going to be new weapon exotics," and I was like, I never would have expected him to clickbait, never, and he got me. He got me. It's like a poor sap that I am.
Yeah, there's new stuff coming. We know. What is it? We don't know yet.
Yeah. No.
There, saved you 10 minutes and a smash the like button at the end.
Mm-hmm. Completely played me, dude. Can't believe Houndish would do that, man. Like, he's never been, to my knowledge, clickbaity in the past.
Yeah, things are rough out there for a Destiny Guardian trying to make good content, and when there's the end of the season and no one knows anything yet because
Bungie nothing's been out.
Yeah, they're like, things are coming. What things? Starts in February. This is your periodic reminder to dismantle all of your Crucible tokens, though, before the 9th of February, though.
That's true. He did say that twice.
You need to dismantle all of them, because otherwise they're worthless, and you might as well at least get shards or materials out of it. So, spend an hour or 3 dismantling all your tokens, getting 57 blues, and guns you don't care about.
Stuff you'll never use or see again. All right, so we got the seasonal challenges coming back to this. Welcome to the second to last TWAB of the Season of the Hunter. Many of you have been navigating the secrets of the Harbinger mission, not us, uncovering randomly rode hawk moons, still not us, and earning the Radiant Accipiter exotic ship, still not us.
Nope.
Content-wise, we're coming to a close for the season, and we're incredibly excited for what's to come in just a few short weeks. We've been covering up some upcoming quality of life changes to Destiny 2, like the return of Umbral Engrams. Sorry, we've been covering some, not covering up, my bad, Umbral Engrams, but it's almost time to take a peek at fresh content. Season of the Redacted, which is old every time they do that. Does that irritate you every time you see Season of Redacted? Coming soon to Redact. Get out of here. You're not cool, all right? You're not trying to be CIA's super spy. Stop it, all right? Before we get there, we have a new feature to cover. Seasonal challenges. And a round of weapon-focused sandbox changes to walk through. As a warning, this is a pretty large amount of information in a itty-bitty space. We've joked about meaty twabs before, but this one may feel a bit overwhelming if you rush through it. Let's take it slow, step by step, and get through it together in one piece.
Sounds like a plan.
Right? And then I mute my mic because I start to choke to death. Introducing seasonal challenges. If you guys have heard this on a lot of YouTube videos, I do apologize, but if I don't read this to you guys, Nitedemon is going to kill me. so I apologize. Over the last year, we've been looking at ways in which we can reduce the amount of FOMO, which translates to fear of missing out in Destiny 2. We have recently made some changes to seasons and how seasonal content is available throughout a given year in Destiny 2. We know the name of the game, dude. You don't have to keep repeating it. This week, we're looking to bounties and bright dust, introducing a new system not only to remove FOMO, but to give fresh ways to earn XP and alternative rewards.
Ooh.
To walk us through the ins and outs of seasonal challenges, we pass the mic to Peroty and the development team.
Welcome back to the development team. So during the production of Beyond Light, we started looking into the problems of bounty fatigue, yes, and FOMO, fear of missing out, as well as seasonal legibility, i.e., what's a season? How do I engage with it when I log in? Who are you people and why are you here? And can I speak to your managers? So they've created a few goals which we believe will help improve the experience. First, we're going to provide a new provide a guide to new, returning, and veteran players on what to do today or this week. When you get here, why are you here? Guide the player through the seasonal content week over week. Instead of being like, there's stuff to do, go figure it out, we're going to tell you what and where. Encourage players to engage with the complexities and the nuances of the seasonal activity and rituals. Go find places to jump out of the map, don't know what that means. And reduce the penalties on XP and bright dust for missing a given week. So to solve these goals, we're introducing a new pursuit type for players, the seasonal challenges. They're going to live on their own page and are accessed through the quest log or season pass, and are separated week by week. So basically, they're going to drop 10 weeks of seasonal challenges on us. There's 13-ish weeks in a season. So you have 3 weeks at the end of the season to catch up on what you missed. So yeah. And here's for a quick breakdown of how this works. Each week, the first 10 weeks of the season, you will get between 3 and 10 challenges appearing automatically for players. I don't know if that means you'll get a whole bunch of challenges one week and fewer the next, or if they just say by the end you'll have 10 challenges. Some of them deal with seasonal content. Others, push you to complete strikes, Gambit, Crucible, or to focus on non-activity Destiny rituals like gaining power, unlocking seasonal artifacts, or improving guns and armor. These challenges can only be completed once per account. Let's say that again for the people in the back. The seasonal challenges can only be completed once per account. But once they do become available, they can be completed anytime in the season. You don't need to start them in a particular way or get them from a vendor. So for an example, if you don't play at all for weeks 2 through 4, you can come back at week 5 and you'll have all of those weeks' seasonal challenges waiting for you. Pick them, you can do them whenever you want. Really, you could wait till season 10 or till week 10 of the season and then have all 10 weeks to do, and then frantically try to get them done in the last 3 weeks of the season. But we don't recommend
3 weeks. How about like the last 24 hours?
Right. And completing each challenge awards XP, contributing to your season pass rank, and other awards are bright dust, seasonal currency, and other interesting items.
I just hope it's not something that takes a whole season to do, like kill 100,000 taken or some insanity, right? I mean, I understand it's a seasonal challenge, but if the challenge takes the entire season, I'm gonna be a little perturbed.
Well, I mean, since we're moving away from our weekly bounties and replacing with these challenges, they kind of want to give us just different things to do in the game. And some examples of the things are defeating primeval envoys in Gambit, defeating enemies in Nightfall the Ordeal with seasonal weapons, gaining infamy or valor ranks, acquiring ritual weapons and its cosmetic ornaments, winning rounds in trials. That's not a thing. Completing Grandmaster Nightfall. No, you can't make me.
It's not a thing. For some people, it is. Maybe not us.
Trials aren't real. They aren't real. I did finally complete all of my cosmetic wraps for the Adored sniper rifle this week.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I finally got my last couple in Crucible. I don't know why I did it, because it's not like I care about that gun. But I'm very motivated by this excites me because the seasonal challenges. I'm very motivated by, here's the thing, go do the thing, get this piece of candy at the end. I don't care if I'll use a candy. I don't even care if I like the candy. It could be a bag of candy corn, but I have it. And I'm less obsessive. I don't need to keep all of them like Nitedemon does. Has to keep everything. But if you give me a task to complete, I'm like, yeah, I'll go complete that. I got my little emblem out of it. I'll probably delete most of the emblems because they're emblems. Who cares? but I did the thing, and I got the candy, and that's the important part.
How do you feel about the wrap, though? Because I got 2 of the 3. We both know which one I didn't get, right? But like I was expecting more from the wrap than a symbol change on the wrap itself, right? I was expecting some kind of theme, like if it's like from.
To be fair, the colors are different, but they may be colors you can't see.
Okay. That being the case, though, right? Color-wise is one thing, but like I was expecting something like if you play Gambit, right? Maybe there's some kind of a taken kind of smokiness to it or whatever, right? You know, kind of like drifting off the weapon. If you play Crucible, I don't know what you would get out of Crucible. Somebody else decide that. If you play just like regular strikes, maybe you have like a like an amulet of some kind for an enemy that you've killed kind of hanging on the weapon somewhere, right? I was expecting something more from the wraps than a color change and a symbol change.
It's just a new coat of paint, yeah.
That's it.
No,
you know what? I have shaders.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those things like it's sort of right up there where I feel about like ships and sparrows being rewards. Ships especially, it's like, oh, the ship's a reward. I go, is it though? Because there's so many ships in the game. I don't know where you got that ship. I don't know if I should be impressed with it or not. The Rapids, like,
either you're the only one that enjoys it, or if you happen to be in a fire team with somebody, maybe somebody else enjoys it if they realize that it's even you in the background, right? Other than that, a ship has no meaning, but a sparrow, everybody in the instance that you're in can see your sparrow. You know what I mean? That's showing off. But
and if you're on Europa, it will sit there forever, as it should.
Is that still a thing? They didn't fix that yet?
Actually, I don't think I've been back to Europa since they patched that. So, sorry, Europa.
Yeah. So, speaking of patching, right? I did the raid to help out some friends a couple times this week, right? On the PC side, they wanted to get challenges and whatnot done, and I helped them out. And then I realized I haven't done the snow part legitimately since the day 1 raid, right?
Yeah,
I haven't. So now that we have to do it legit, I was talking to Peace Pipes who left the clan, but he's still on my friends list. He and I were talking together. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna go to orbit. You know when you're done, and I'm gonna come back down. He goes, "Oh, there's a team player." It's like you think not, but I am being a team player because by going to orbit, I save you the hassle of waiting the next hour for me to make it to the end. Right?
Dude, oh my God! Seriously, like that alone has sort of killed my desire to try to get through that raid. Because that thing was like, because we did it legitimately once, one weekend, again before we realized the glitch was there. But
yeah,
it is such a punishing, stupid thing. Like it's not even that hard to. It's hard, but it's not hard in the like, oh, you can overcome this challenge. It's just irritating.
Yeah, no, that's the problem. It is irritating, especially with all the slowing mines. That's the part that kills it right there.
Like it's just dumb. It's like you can do this perfectly 6 times, but if you zig when you should zag once, you're dead. Like there's just enough time to make it to the next spot. If you don't go the exact right route, even when you know the route, even when you have the map up going, okay, it's this direction. I see the little light thing that I need to head toward. Just pulling it off, it's like this is just punishingly stupid to be the first part of the dumb raid before you even get into anything that matters. Anyway. But yeah, no, I saw they patch it. I was like, yeah, no, I think I'm done. I'm interested. I mean, I'll run it at some point if you want to, but just no. It's dumb. It's really dumb. I mean, I guess you do get a chest at the end, so I guess that that is the challenge for that part. But man,
chest only gives you something that you've already gotten. So if you don't have much,
that's why I have 3 trustees.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had a message. I keep forgetting that my computer talks to my Xbox, right? So right on my Discord, it pops up and says, "Hey, big fan of the show from Z33 Kyle S13. Thank you." And just popped up on my screen, and it's very distracting when it does that. But yeah, so no, it's super punishing. And when I did it legitimately the first time, I got to like the 3rd little bubble, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in it. I told you I could do it. And then I forgot that there were ads.
I thought you were going to say I forgot there were
surrounded by 2 yellow bars, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not fun. Bungie, bring back the glitch. So I guess what people are going to have to do now, well, not have to do, right? If you know the route is probably not so bad. I forgot the route, so that's why I'm pining about it. But I from my perspective, I would say everybody just stay in orbit. The one guy does a glitch because there's a glitch where you can still do it, but you have to do it one person at a time, and waiting for all 6 people to do that is a pain. So the one guy goes down there, does the glitch, makes it to the end, we all join him, boom, done. Right? Because the last guy still has to do it legitimately, from what I understand. I'm not sure why they didn't explain it to me, but whatever. Either way, though, one guy does a glitch, makes it to the end. Bob's your uncle. We're done. Right? If you need that first test, get over it. You got 3 more. Right?
Wait for Cheese to put out a video at some point saying, "Here's how you go back chest afterwards."
Yeah, something like that. Hey, you can use a sword to glitch through this wall to get your chest, or I don't know. But if there's a challenge week, you can do the challenge and you still get 4 chests. Right?
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Just do the challenge, you get that chest back. All right, where are we at? Dev team during production of Beyond Light, right?
Yeah. So they're just saying, here's the examples. Some will be harder and require longer time to complete. Some will be easier and require less time to complete. They will give you different rewards and, weighted XP for each of those things. As we said, they're removing the weekly bounties from Zavala, Shaxx, and the Drifter, Banshee, and the seasonal vendor, probably Crow. These vendors will still have their daily bounties, which will reward XP, and the 3 ritual vendors will still have repeatable bounties. So the repeatables and dailies are not going away. So you can still get your repeatables, you can still earn your bright dust that way. However, the weekly bounties are going away. So don't keep them, don't hoard them. It won't do you any good.
Oh, okay. So that's a little bit of good news, because I thought Bungie, with that one move, just killed power leveling flat out.
Yeah.
So you can keep your dailies without the weeklies. Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. So they did kill power leveling from season to season, because as we'll mention again later, and I know Nitedemon will yell at us, but I feel like it's worth mentioning over and over again. Bungie has said through DMG, we're taking all your bounties when the season switch over. Completed, not completed.
So I was right. They did take them all. Okay.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to say that now too, because no. So what I'm saying is, they are still in the game, because people were asking, are repeatable bounties going to go away entirely in the game? No, they'll be in the game. You just can't carry them over season to season. DMG has said all your bounties are being cleared out. On February 8th, right before the February 9th season starts, all your bounties get cleared out, completed or not. So turn everything in, don't hoard them. There's no point in doing it, which I appreciate them saying, because every season I feel like we go through the, what can you keep? What can you not keep? Is this going to work? Is this not going to work?
Yeah.
So turn it all in. And if you are hoarding, stop hoarding. If you're done playing and you're just playing to hoard, don't hoard. Go after a thing you care about, or wait a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we said, after week 10, no more new challenges drop at that point, which gives you time to catch up or get things done you haven't done yet, or if you're trying to get everything done, there isn't something brand new to do every single week. And as Respawn mentioned, there's lots of bright dust coming. These seasonal challenges are going to dump that on our head as well. Toward the end of the season, if you complete, they say, nearly all the season challenges, you're going to get a single 4,000 bright dust pile. So I assume it'll be, they'll pick out, like, get the trials wins or something that they know no one's going to do, and say, if you do all of these, 7 of 8 or I guess 9 of 10 or 8 of 10 or whatever, we'll give you the 4,000 bright dust dump. Enjoy. Here you go. And the seasonal challenges for Strike, Gambit, and Crucible. God, words.
So many.
So you're also going to get these between 75 and 300 bright dust when you do each of the Strike, Crucible, and Gambit seasonal challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you'll get your bright dust through your challenges and your giant pile at the end. And each ritual vendor awards 120 bright dust for each character who completes each week the complete 8 bounties challenge that the vendors are going to have, which sounds a lot like the weekly bounty we had before, but now it's not a weekly bounty, now it's a challenge. So we took things away and we brought them back, only we're going to call it a different thing now. Got it? Good.
Get it good.
Yeah, so and then for season 13, seasonal challenges, so bright dust for all players, you're getting 6,000 bright dust and free seasonal activities. Your seasonal extra, if you do the challenges, is 4,000 bright dust, so 10,000 bright dust for you as the free seasonal player if you do all the challenges each, in the season. If you own the season pass, your free path will get you 7,500 bright dust. That's for everybody. Your paid path will get you another 3,000 bright dust. So for 10,500 bright dust total on the season pass.
Paid.
I wish they would break this out differently, because I thought it was one thing, and then halfway through I read it and realized it's something different. So
yeah, no. If you don't pay, you get 7,500. If you do pay, you get 10,500. Pretty simple.
Yep, there you go.
Yep.
See, there's a man with a plan.
Ta-da! I
Yeah.
would never accuse me of something like that. Having a plan.
Yeah,
That's plans.
yeah. And then our weekly ritual challenge, bright dust for all players, 120 per vendor per character per week. So that's 14,040 if completing all weekly challenges over the course of season 13. So there's a bunch of bright dust. It still feels like less than we were getting before overall, but at least it's less tied to go do 1,000 bounties over and over again. You can just go do other things and they'll give you bright dust as well. And now that we're done with challenges, we're going back to the sandbox. So Respawn, what do we have in our sandbox?
Well, in the sandbox, every season we have a collection of changes to the Destiny 2 sandbox to spice things up a bit. This current season, we're making some targeted changes to weapon archetypes that need some love, as well as beginning some preparations for crossplay. Oh my god, I think this is it's coming. Okay, here we go. I might get a little heated. All right. Dev team, in preparation for crossplay coming later this year, we're making some changes to the recoil stat. Ugh! Yep. Currently, several weapon archetypes have their recoil stat reduced by around 40%, depending on the archetype, when using mouse and keyboard. This results in an issue where players on mouse and keyboard are able to largely ignore the weapon stability stat. I don't see that as an issue in any way, shape, or form, actually.
It is if you're playing with the console people who do have to understand that that's a stat that exists.
You see, I don't think so, and I'll get to that in a second. That's what heated me.
Better fix seems like just you let us ignore the stability stat too, and then we can all have super stable.
Exactly. Thank you. That's what I was going to get at. Instead of nerfing PC players, why don't you buff console players? Right?
Just make stability not a thing. Let me shoot any gun I want without the stability afterward, and then we'll all have super god weapons, and then everyone gets angry. You can snipe people with
exactly. And see, the people that are out there that know me are like, but Respawn, you always talk about how you like realism in games, and in real life, weapons jump like a son of a gun. That is accurate. But since we're playing Destiny, realism goes out the damn window. All right?
Right. And I really wish they would just lean into this. Go all the way. There's a man who can create a giant purple grape bubble. You've lost the realism at this point.
Yeah.
There's a man whose gun gets set on
magically
fire.
Makes a gun that shoots flaming sun bullets, right? I mean, come on. Or turn invisible at the drop of a hat, right?
Where does the hunter keep all of those flaming knives? Those seem hot. How does he light them on fire? I have questions.
So there's a trick to that. They don't stay on fire when they're stored. We pull them out. We ignite them because they're covered in kerosene, if you didn't know. And then we throw them, to which the gunpowder that also coats them at that point detonate. Not gunpowder, more like a glycerin type of thing, right? It's the impact that makes it go boom, right? So they're not ignited while they're stored. But the point is, realism is out of the window, right? So why should stability be any different?
Yeah. Realism is somewhere over there in the distance with all the Slova bombs who've been shot out into the distance they're just living free now among the people, among the.
And that's one of the things that really, really attracted me to PC. Although the game is way more beautiful on PC, what made me learn to use mouse and keyboard in lieu of a controller is the stability stat, dude. It is so attractive to a PC player.
Because it doesn't exist.
No, it exists on some guns, especially something like the freaking what's that submachine gun, the exotic one that just reloads its whole magazine on a kill? It's called Ride the Bull. It's a special perk.
Oh,
I remember the perk, but not the weapon. Way to go, Respawn.
We're good at this.
Oh, hold on. I know I got it somewhere. Give me a second.
Yeah, I know what it is too. I'm going, it's the other one I never use.
There it is, because it's on my Titan, because my Titan usually rocks double submachine guns. But the Huckleberry, that thing still kicks like a mule. But back in the day when the freaking the pinnacle weapon, everybody hated it. had the perk Master of Arms on it. I've deleted mine because it's not good anymore.
Mm-hmm. The Recluse.
Thank you. That thing. You want to talk about a laser beam? It had zero recoil. None. Nada. I'm sorry. I can hit you at sniper range with my submachine gun. It has no damage.
Right. Didn't hurt that it also had a recoil direction of 100, so completely vertical, no referee kick at all.
Yeah. So I mean, having that recoil, let's call it an advantage on PC is not recoil, stability is amazing. It makes the PC so much more attractive to play on, especially the mouse and keyboard, right? But like Astacross said, he goes, if this change goes through, there's no reason to play on mouse and keyboard. Like, you might still have a 20% buff when it comes to stability on mouse and keyboard, but at that point in time, you might as well just go to controller and get the freaking advantage of the aim assist, right? At that point, what's the advantage of having the mouse and keyboard for crossplay? So, like you, I'm an advocate of don't nerf PC, buff console. Give console that extra 40% stability to keep them in line. Or, hell, you only took away 20% of our stability, so give the console players an additional 20%, right? There was no point in nerfing anything. They could have buffed it and made the game better for everyone. But Bungie, being Bungie, decides to take, I was going to say the lesser of two evils, but it's not lesser of two evils. You just took the evil. There's no point in that, man.
Or likely made the easier change to say this was an easier code change to make than the other way around.
I don't care. You have a whole team, make it happen. There was no reason to nerf when you could have buffed Bungie. I mean, just the word nerf. You could have changed this by saying, hey, we've upped the stability for console players. How much better would the drop have been if they said that? Right? Come on.
It would have been great until people started looking at it and putting out videos going, they're wrong. And you're totally gone now.
Heated me. I'm gone?
You sounded like you were in a well. I don't know if it's a connection. Like, your connection didn't drop, but you were deep in the well there for a second.
I was deep in the well. Okay.
Yeah, you're back now, but it's sounded like a little bit here and there, like right when you start to speak. Sometimes it'll sound like way far away. It's like you start over here, and then all of a sudden you're back here. So
okay. Yeah, I lean back in my chair a lot when I get excited, so that's probably what was happening. All right, yeah. So
that one was a straight up connection because it was just like you had no bits.
Yeah, I had no bits, 0 bits. But yeah, I mean, going back to what I just said, Bungie would have had such a better community reaction. I'm not saying this community reaction is bad. It's bad for me because, right? But the community reaction would have been better if they said, hey, instead of nerfing the PC, we've given a buff to console. Now everybody on console for every weapon has an additional 20% stability to your stat. Congratulations, right? Everybody would just go nuts. Everybody would love that, I would think, right? But no, they had to nerf instead of buff. And Bungie, you have so many opportunities since developing Destiny 1, but especially Destiny 2, where you could have done so many good things for the community, and almost every single time you botch it, guys. Don't get me wrong, you've done some really good things for the community, but things like this, easy changes, easy fixes, nerf to buff, that should have been a no-brainer. Instead of nerfing PC, should have buffed consoles, right? Because now people on PC, we're still going to have a stability out. If you play mouse and keyboard, we still have an additional 20% stability. But if we swap to keyboard and mouse, well, now we have more of the frames and aim assist, right? So we don't even need the stability at that point. I mean, there's a whole school of thought behind this. Point is, you should have buffed instead of nerfed. You botched it. So getting back to the TWAP.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, you do have aim assist on the PC. You just don't have the bullet magnetism on the PC. It's different, but, there's one, or maybe I'm getting that. There's a follow-up video I'll direct people to. But
yeah, the aim assist is the bullet magnetism. We do have some bullet magnetism, but it's nowhere near what controller does.
Right. Yeah. There is. Yeah. So there is some, but it's not. Yeah, it's different. But anyway, that's a whole new rat hole for another day.
Yeah, but go watch Fallout's video on aim assist and bullet magnetism. It'll really educate you. Not you, the listeners. The following weapon archetypes will have their mouse and keyboard recoil adjusted closer to controller, reduce the difference from an additional 40% stability, approximately, to an additional 20% stability, approximately. We have auto rifle, we have scout rifle, we have pulse rifle, we have submachine gun, we have hand cannon, we have machine gun. What is not included? A fusion rifle wasn't included. Okay, so I guess fusion rifle still retains that. Sniper rifle.
Sidearm, trace rifle.
Sidearm, trace rifle. Rocket launcher, I guess. Grenade launcher.
Your sword stability has not been adjusted for recoil. Don't worry.
Right.
Even though sword can shoot.
Not everything has been adjusted, but the most common archetypes, I guess, have been. So there's that.
Yeah.
So if you're a fusion rifle main or a shotgun main, you still have all of the stability.
Yeah, I mean, and really, if you're a shotgun, it doesn't matter. You shoot the guy dies at the end. Yeah, I mean, this honestly seems like, again, and I don't play on PC, no dog in this fight, but this seems like one of these things. It'll be like, this gun plays differently. A week later, okay, I've readjusted to how this gun plays, and now we can all move on with life again. Because you have a mouse and a keyboard, you have much tighter control over those things. You just have to, it's going to act different, adjust, and then you can be happy. In a couple of weeks, you and Fuzzco and Pan can yell at me if, PC has been completely broken by these. But I'll really be curious to see how it plays out. If it is actually like a big noticeable thing, 3 weeks in.
Well, like I said, like Astacross said, I agree with him on this. At that point in time, you could just swap to a controller on PC. You can use those and get all that aim assist, right? And then you'll be exactly on the same playing field. So there you go.
Yep.
In the cases of pulse rifles, submachine guns, and machine guns, we will also be introducing some buffs.
See, there you go. Respawn, not all nerfs, some buffs.
Yeah, but they missed a big one. In some cases, these weapons will have less recoil across both controller and mouse and keyboard input methods compared to what's in the game today. Submachine guns are largely outclassed by auto rifles, you think, at medium range, and sidearms, you think, at close range. And also shotguns at close range.
Well, that one feels like it goes without saying.
Right? I guess they're comparing them to other primary weapons or whatever. So with player feedback often mentioning how hard they are to control, to address this feedback, we are introducing the following changes. The reduced camera movement from firing a submachine gun by 24%. Now, educate me on this, Mr. Peroty. The camera shake helps from the visual perspective, but you still have the weapon itself jumping all around and sending bullets every which way, right? Camera shake is not directly linked to stability, is it?
I'm going to say yes, only in that because you as the player seeing the camera shake are going to want to adjust your aim for the camera shake. I don't know if they are linked in the game, but I would think, if you see your gun jumping around, you're going to try to adjust for that jumping around by what you're doing with your controller or keyboard. Okay. I don't know, but it seems like, they're related at least behaviorally, if not technically. Look for Fallout's 8-part video coming soon on this topic.
Right. I really appreciate Fallout for what he does. He goes above and beyond to do things that most nobody else ever does. So Fallout,
right? The amount of time he puts into these deep dives, yes, are just phenomenal. He is an asset to the community. He
really is, man. He is on a pillar above most of them, I would say. Pulse rifles with the mouse and keyboard changes were kicking a little too much. Reduced camera movement from firing a pulse rifle by, are you ready for this? 7%. Yo.
A little too much.
Massive, right? Machine guns. Damn it. Literacy. Come on. Machine guns with the mouse and keyboard changes were kicking a little too much. Reduce this camera movement from firing a machine gun by, you think higher or lower than 7? What do you think?
Let's see. I'm going to say higher because it's a submachine gun.
No, it's a machine gun. I said sub, but I went back and said
still
machine
higher.
Gun. Okay. You are correct. It reduced the camera movement from firing a machine gun by 9.5%. What?
That extra 0.5% all that matters.
Huge. That is huge. All right. We'll pay close attention to how these changes play out when they go live and plan to revisit individual archetypes in a future update as needed. Outside of recoil adjustments, we are also tuning a few weapon archetypes in Season 13. Looking through the backend data and community feedback, we have landed on the following. Now, this I'm both excited and skeptical about, and I'll tell you why. Rocket launchers have fallen behind other heavy weapons in most measures of effectiveness. We are pushing them more into a burst damage role. Wow, hold on. So a rocket would be considered burst damage? Peroty, did you know that?
Yeah, because there's nothing, and then there's a burst of damage.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Possibly
I'm glad they pointed that out. Yeah,
firing it into a bubble.
I'm glad that Bungie is now putting the rocket launcher in an archetype that would be considered burst damage. Who knew? Right? So they've increased their rocket launcher damage by 30%. Now, here's why I'm excited and skeptical, right? The next line says exotic rocket launchers. Yes, exotic rocket launchers have been adjusted individually and are affected by this change to different degrees. Now, I've been using a lot of the Eyes of Tomorrow, right? On everything, red and yellow bar, it does expensively well, right? I know that's probably not the right word to use there, but it sounded fancy. Get over yourselves. So, it's a really, really good rocket launcher, and it's on my hunter most of the time now. Except for when I know I have to do boss damage, right? And then I have to swap to like the Lament or whatever, right? Which is getting a nerf, but we'll get to that. So, the only problem with the Eyes of Tomorrow is that it has a approximately 30% reduced damage to bosses. It's either 30 or 50, I can't remember, but minimum of 30%, okay? Now, if individual rocket launchers have been tuned differently, the exotic ones, for this damage percentage, does that mean Eyes of Tomorrow is at least getting some extra damage to bosses, right? If it's getting a 30% damage to everything but bosses, that's also really, really good, right? I don't think it really needs it, except for like maybe some of the tougher yellow bars that take 2 or 3 shots to kill. But if it gets the bonus to that, great. But I'm really kind of hoping that it gets the bonus to the boss damage specifically, because that's the only department it's really lacking in, right?
Yeah.
So I want to see what the numbers are on all the very specific exotic rocket launchers. And if that being the case, if rocket launchers are coming back, my eyes are going to be on the Truth rocket launcher.
Your eyes not going to be on tomorrow?
It depends, right? I'm looking at the Eyes of Tomorrow and the Truth, mainly because the Truth has the 3 rockets that aggressively track, and I think the word aggressive is laughably not enough to describe what this rocket does to kill you.
Yeah, that rocket will get on the plane, come to your house, find you in your bunker, wait for you outside for 3 months later, you to walk out the front door to get your coffee and murder you.
And what's even better, those that don't know the Truth, those that either haven't played D1 or came in too late to get the Truth in D2, right? This rocket launcher is the only rocket launcher currently in the game that has 3 ammunition in your magazine, right? You can fire this bad boy 3 times before you have to reload. Only rocket launcher in the game that has more than 1. So, this thing, not only you can shoot 3 times, right? But like he says, it aggressively tracks you. It's got a GPS locator on your ankle, and it will find you, right? But if somehow you manage to get behind cover, right? What this thing does is it also has a proximity detection on the warhead itself, right? So if you're hiding behind cover and you know that the rocket launcher can't turn that 90-degree turn, which in some cases is also disagreeable. I've seen it turn wonky directions. Mm-hmm. But even if it doesn't turn that direction, if it goes over the top of your cover or next to the cover and it detects you, it still detonates and kills you.
As we've discussed.
Yeah, this rocket launcher in PvP is a no-brainer, especially in something like Gambit, right? If you're looking to invade, that is the invade weapon. It will find and just obliterate everybody on the other team, okay? So, if this is going to get a 30% buff, and you get 3 rounds in the chamber, and it's aggressively tracking, this might have the potential to be the new boss DPS weapon. You feel me? Either that or the whole rocket launchers with the cluster grenades and the impact casing. Those are in the running too, but I'm really looking at the truth. I think the truth has got a lot of potential depending on how they adjust this 30% damage boost. Kind of excited. Okay.
Yeah, they're very careful not to give us any detail, just saying we're tweaking the exotic ones individually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you how yet, but just individually.
Or even if the truth doesn't get that much of a buff, you also have the things like Two-Tailed Fox, set your targets on fire and suppresses them. Come on.
Or
2 rockets for the price of 1.
All the rockets in the world.
Yeah. We have so many. Like, I'm just thinking now. My mind's exploding. We have so many good exotic rocket launchers that we can't use because of the damage. You know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, there are as many exotic rocket launchers as cannons. One set gets used. One set largely gets ignored.
Yeah.
Like the Deathbringer. Deathbringer is so much fun. It got tons of use when it came out, and then do you see Deathbringer anymore? No.
That's the one that cascades from the sky, right?
Yeah, like this sort of like the Slova bomb tracking.
Yeah. Oh, that was so much fun to play with. The only problem with that is you have to determine where your enemy is before it detonates. But whatever. That's also very cool. I did like that one a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of very unique, very cool rocket launchers we could really be taking advantage of this next coming season. Fusion rifle usage is very low, and they feel like it is unreliable choice in Crucible compared to shotguns. That's because it is. Okay. We have increased fusion rifle damage fall off start distance. Okay, fusion rifle damage fall off start distance based on range stat. Okay, so for those that don't know, fusion rifles, the range stat and the stability stat are very, very important because they actually tie into each other as far as bolt grouping go and damage fall off. Okay, so those are the 2 most important stats on a fusion rifle. In my opinion, some people might disagree and they would be wrong. So if this increases your fall off stat based on range, starting at 6% at point blank range, up to 16% at max range, right? So 100 range. So that would be cool. Fusion rifles sound like they're going to get a buff. Also sounds like Telesto might be making an appearance again, right? Re-breaking the game all over again. And what's that solar one that keeps firing faster until you get a kill?
The one that was bugged for a million years, so everyone stopped using it. Merciless.
Thank you. That one also might be turning its head too, so that's fun.
Yeah. Hopefully, finally fixed because I feel like it was bugged for the last they were just like, guys, just
right.
And then everyone's favorite fusion rifle, the Jotun.
The Jotun. Well, that doesn't matter. The Jotun has no range fall off. It has no range. It just tracks you until you die, or you know how to jump.
The Jotun is the younger brother of the Truth rocket launcher.
Right? Yeah.
I haven't quite perfected yet.
And it's not a heavy. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not even a heavy. It's crazy. I think that should be a heavy, though. Unpopular opinion, I think it should be a heavy just because of the aggressive tracking and the one-hit kill capability.
It is certainly the most anger-inducing weapon. You can be as good as you can with a sniper rifle, hand cannon, whatever. The guy with the Jotun, you're like, I respect your choices because you're demolishing me, but I hate you.
It's not even that. It's like, you're going to kill that guy because he's charging it up. You're going to kill him. But the crappy part is he's also going to kill you. I've killed him. Yeah, you thought you could beat me, and then from behind you, don't ask how, you got this Jotun that he fired an hour ago that kills you, right? So anyway, that thing should absolutely be a heavy, and that should up the damage.
Ultimate mutual destruction.
Yeah. I'm actually excited about this one because when I was going for my mountaintop, this angered me beyond words. Okay, so breach grenade launchers. Those are the ones where you got to crack it open, load around fire.
Respawn. You forgot they've reduced the camera movement from firing your fusion rifle by 9.5%.
Oh, I did. Oh my god, thank you for that. Yes, they did in fact reduce camera movement from firing fusion rifles by 9.5%.
Yeah, so if you're firing your fusion rifle and your machine gun, it's the same amount, so it'll feel familiar.
No, stop. Okay. Breach grenade launcher. Again, for those of you that don't know, it's the one you crack in half, load around, put it back, fire, crack in half, load around, put it back, fire, etc. Right? Breach round. So, breach grenade launcher's usage is very low, doi, outside of the mountaintop. Again, doi. We believe part of the reason is that the loop of hold the trigger to arm and then release to detonate is challenging to execute. Now,
yes, it is.
That's also not the reason why they have low usage. By the way, they have low usage because the mountaintop was just better in every way, shape, or form, right? But I will give them this, especially with the Lion's Rampart, right? Not the Lion's Rampart. That's the Titan Exotic. The exotic grenade launcher, where it uses primary ammunition, and when you get a kill, it reloads your primary ammunition. What the hell is that called? Come on, I know you know it. I know you
gotta
know
give
it.
More than that.
Okay. So we've had it forever. We've had it basically since the beginning of Destiny 2. Hold on, I'll find it. Give me a second. Play some Jeopardy music.
Yeah, I'm drawing. I was trying to figure out what else was a breech-loaded grenade launcher that existed in this game.
Well, there's a lot, actually. There's a surprising number of them, and I use a couple of them, but we'll get to that in a second. So, the Blight is breach loading, right? So, not the Blight.
It was a mountaintop Wither Horde.
Wither Horde is a breach launch, right? So it's going to get that benefit.
Fighting Lion.
That's it. Fighting Lion, not Lion Ramparts. So Fighting Lion,
forgot
right,
that even existed.
Induced so much rage because it would bounce literally off the guy I was shooting. Right? That's just like, why? So it would bounce off of him and then detonate on a wall close by. It would damage him, but ultimately he'd kill me because guess what? Now I have no more grenades, right? I got to reload. So that was a headache. So that gun, in addition to like not the freaking Wither Horde, because the Wither Horde, if you hit an enemy, it doesn't bounce off, it just hits it, right? So the Wither Horde is the exception. But that one that you just said, and a lot of other heavily used ones, such as
Murder Retribution, Deafening Whisper.
I don't know. Right now, you're going to be looking for not the Deafening Whisper, because that's like the flame one. Although that would benefit, because when you hit somebody with it, it bounces off and then the flame appears. So that would benefit too. But it's mostly like Orwig's Maul or whatever the Void one is. What's the Void
one? Truth Teller?
Thank you. That's what I was
getting all excited over.
Is the one that everybody's going to be using because it has the closest really, really good roll to like it's supposedly it's supposed to be a mountaintop replacement, right? You got the spike grenades, or you can get the proximity rounds, right, which you won't really need. What the hell happened? Oh, there it is. So you also have blinding grenades, which I hate or whatever. So basically, you want a truth teller with spike grenades and probably auto-loading holster. Auto-loading holster. I just had a stroke. Wow. So auto-loading holster and spike grenades, and then maybe something like demolitionist, right? I think that's the role a lot of people are looking for right now, right? So that also has the problem of when you hit a guy with it, it'll bounce off unless you have something like spike grenades, right? Or if you have anything where you have to hold the trigger down and then release it to detonate, right? All of those are going to get the benefit, from what I understand, such that the projectiles will detonate when they hit their target, no matter what.
This is my wild round of applause, because thank you, finally.
Yes.
That's why I don't use the Fighting Lion. That's why I don't use half of these, because the mountaintop worked as you expected it to. You take the projectile hits the thing you're shooting at it, and it blew up. With everything else, you took the explosive projectile, you hit the thing you were trying to kill, and it bounced off, and you go, but but you explode. You're a grenade. What part of grenade don't you understand about being a grenade? Everything. So yeah,
at least like in other games like Call of Duty, if you shoot somebody with a breach round grenade launcher, the impact is going to kill them without it detonating, right? But not in Destiny.
It will just it will just bounce off into a hole somewhere, and then you'll be like, well, now I'm because I don't have to reload and look stupid,
right? Now the really cool thing, and I think the Fighting Lion is going to have a huge upsurge because of this one buff, is because doesn't it use primary ammo instead of special? Yeah. So it uses primary ammo in lieu of special ammo. And whenever you get a kill with your Fighting Lion, it's guaranteed to give you more primary ammo. It is a self-sustaining gun, right? Assuming you kill things.
Yeah.
So that is going to have a huge upsurge in use, especially in the Crucible. This is my prediction. We'll see if it happens.
Yeah, and then with the catalyst, it gives you that huge boost to the reload speed. So it's got 85 reload speed on it, so you can actually reload it fairly quick enough. I'm not saying you're going to take out 3 people in the Crucible quickly, but PvE, especially, and even Crucible, you can reload it quickly enough to re-engage people without going, hold on, guys, give me 5 minutes. Let me put the grenade back in here. Okay, all right, time in. Now I'm ready again.
You're not thinking with portals though, right? Let's back up and take another look at this, right? You also have a mod you can put on your armor that further increases reload speed of grenade launchers, right? Mm-hmm. So you could probably get that pretty close to 95-100, right?
Yeah, true.
And if you're using a hunter like you should be, you also have dodge reloading. So this gun is going to be a monster in the Crucible. That's how I'm seeing it. When this buff goes through, expect to see a hell of a lot more Fighting Lions in the Crucible. That's all I'm saying. Prepare yourself.
Is it a one-shot kill for people? Like if you hit someone with it, is it enough to kill somebody? That's only I don't. And again, I certainly haven't used it enough to know. I mean, I would assume so if I hit you point blank with a grenade.
I mean, it's a grenade launcher, you would think so. Anecdotally, I've been one shot by it 100 times. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I assume it would, but yeah, I figured it's worth asking the question. Not that I have a good answer to it.
Yeah. If somebody knows definitively, let us know, because we're speculating. I've been one shot from full health by it many times. I've killed people with it a few times, meaning exactly 3. But yeah, so let us know if you get hit with the detonation point blank. Is it a guaranteed kill? It should be, but we don't know. So, nerfs. Here we go. This is my favorite part. While sniper rifle usage has dropped in the Crucible, we have observed, by the way, not on PC at all, by the way, has dropped in Crucible. We've observed that it's hard to challenge someone with a sniper rifle, even if you get the first shot on the enemy. They can often respond and win the fight with the next shot. Increased ADS flinch to snipers when taking damage from other players. Okay, so that's the nerf to snipers. Now, I say not in PC because I can't even trials. Good luck not getting sniped in trials, dude.
We don't talk about trials. Trials is not a thing.
No, I have to do trials every now and again. It's not a thing, but sometimes it is an evil where I either get dragged into it or it has something I want to get, right?
Yep.
But in trials, good luck not getting sniped, dude. You'll get sniped before you even turn a corner. They know you there and see. They know all the routes. They know all. You're not gonna win the fight. Right? You're gonna get sniped 9 times out of 10. So that actually helps me out because I can't tell you how much fury I have been caught up in because I'm actively shooting a guy with a sniper rifle and landing hits and he still pops me. I'm like, where's the flinch? Where's the flinch?
Yeah,
right?
I'm really glad they're addressing this because I've had the same thought. I'm hitting you with the sweet business. I'm hitting you with an auto freaking pulse rifle, and I see it connecting. I see what should be enough flinch, and you one-shot headshot me? No, I'm sorry.
As somebody that's been in the military and has had to deal with long-range shots, something as simple as your heartbeat will throw off your shot, right? Like, in reality, a heartbeat is enough to throw your shot off target. And here we are. You're actively getting shot with a weapon. The sweet business has flinch, right? That's one of the perks, is it has extra flinch, I believe. And you're actively mowing this guy down, and he still snipes you. Like, what?
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean the number of because I usually if I'm playing to vaguely care about the Crucible, I'm usually going in with a pulse rifle. And if I'm landing headshots with the pulse rifle, and I see the red glint, and that red glint doesn't move, just one shots me. I'm going, but I hit you, like I've broken your shield.
Especially with the pulse rifle, dude. Because at least one of those shots was a headshot.
Right. It's like I'm hitting you in the face. I've broken your shield. I've seen the damage I'm doing to you, and you just boom, one shot, and I'm dead. I'm going, no, I was shooting you in the face. You can't concentrate enough to hit me with the pulse rifle, with the sniper rifle. Body shot, sure, whatever, but a one shot kill, no.
So you do not have flinch on the sweet business. So I take that back.
Yeah. I mean, you should, because you're getting hit by many boards coming at you. But
a literal wall of lead.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm hitting you with an auto rifle at that kind of range, at that kind of speed, you should be getting some flinch just from the impact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So swords are getting a nerf as well. If you didn't know, they are extremely dominant in PvE. At this time, 65% of players are using swords for the majority of gameplay encounters in Destiny 2. FYI, swords is a strong word. I would say 60% of people are using Lament. And the last 5 are still using Guillotine, Falling Guillotine, right? So, for the majority of gameplay encounters in Destiny 2, while we are introducing a buff to rocket launchers to make them a bit more exciting, we feel that swords do too much damage compared to other options. They are reducing sword damage, a blanket sword damage reduction, by 15%.
So you made swords really superly overpowered, got surprised when everyone used them, and then you took the damage back down.
Yeah, I still think this isn't going to affect Lament, because Lament just has such an overwhelming damage number. I still think it's going to be very prevalent, unless these changes are extreme for the exotic ones.
Oh yeah, no. Well, and even just situationally, if you're in a situation you're using a sword, that's not going to change. You're not going to swap the sword out for a rocket launcher.
Yeah,
you may swap the sword for a sniper, linear feet, or something else, but you're not going to swap it out for a rocket launcher. No. Again, unless these changes are significant enough and the damage numbers are there.
And not just that, but the hidden perk, not the hidden perk, but the perk on the Lament, right? It pierces shields, dude.
Right.
So it's really good for those events we have shield piercing knights or shielded knights and things like that. You come up on them, boom, they're done. Right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Maybe it takes one more swipe, or once you pierce the shield, your teammate has to deal one more something shot to kill something. But it's going to make it less prevalent. It won't be everyone using swords, but the swords aren't going away. You're not, nerfing them into non-existence.
Well, again, it also depends on these exotic rocket launcher changes. It might be. Those might be enough to do the trick. I'm hoping they are. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
So exotic changes and bug fixes. I believe this is your realm of expertise, Peroty.
So some exotic weapons lose their buffs when you switch weapons, which is intended. They would also lose their buff when you pull out your ghost shell, which is not intended. So they fix that issue. So if you have the Ace of Spades, the Teraba, or the Hawkmoon, and you pull out your ghost shell and you lose the buff, that's going to be fixed now. The Borealis and the Hardlight have a custom, quite short animation for switching damage types. I don't know if that's an exotic change or a bug fix, but I assume it changed since they don't say anything.
It is an exotic change, and I hope it's what I'm thinking of. If it's what I'm thinking of, you know how, like, with those two weapons, you have to actually remove the magazine. You have to hold down the X, which is a long time to do mid-combat. And then on top of having to hold it down, you swap out a magazine and then put a whole... That's a long time to change the damage type. So I'm hoping it's just like a button flick on the weapon, and it changes colors.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm hoping is because they say animation. Because, that's not a short animation to, grab the clip out, put the new clip in, and now you switched over. So hoping they're making that quicker. Yeah. That's what they're telling us.
And that's after holding X down for an hour, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Holding X down, wait for the Truth Rocket to come find you in your neighborhood.
Right. Hey, Mom, what's that noise? Okay.
Hold on, still switching damage types.
This next one I'm kind of excited about, right? But go ahead, continue.
So the duality, they've increased the damage fall-off distance by 1.25 meters, while both aiming down sights and firing from the hip. They've also reduced the maximum buff stacks from 7 to... Right, reduced... I read reduced, my brain said increased. They've reduced the maximum buff stacks from 7 to 5. Each stack now grants more of a damage bonus, extended buff, and they've extended the buff duration slightly.
So duality was good before, right? The only thing that duality faced was that you had Felwinter's Lie, which was better in the spread category, and then you had it has Desperado as the spur. No, that's the wrong one.
Chaperone.
Chaperone, thank you. Chaperone was better in the slug department, right? I believe, if I remember correctly, go back and watch the Astacross video. Not Astacross, Fallout. The duality maxed out, I think, at 11 meters, right? Whereas the Chaperone maxed out at 14. If they give it an extra 1.25 meters, you're looking at 12, possibly almost 13 meters for the duality to get a kill. It just barely falls short of the Chaperone. But maybe that 1.25 meters will actually increase it past the Felwinter's Lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because Chaperone's the only thing with 100 range. Duality's got 96 range on it.
Yeah.
And the Felwinter's, it says 47, but we all know that's a lie.
That's definitely a lie. That's the exotic perk shock package keeps those together. So yeah. So I'm kind of excited about that because I love the idea of duality, and I still haven't completed its catalyst yet because of all the kills you got to get with it. But if this change goes through, it might be a staple in my arsenal at this point moving forward.
Yeah, duality. That's when I did finish the. Yeah, it was a lot, but it's one I sort of put in the vault because I don't know. And the catalyst does give you an 18 boost to range and a +2 boost to your magazine. So Respawn, good need to finish that catalyst to take advantage of all of that good range. And if you're wondering, your Sturm will once again reload any equipped special slot weapon on kill, provided the special weapons clip isn't already full, and there's reserve ammo. They've also fixed an issue preventing the Merciless from increasing its charge rate on non-lethal hits. So maybe they finally fixed the Merciless? Finally? Poor broken Merciless. And before we go, we are planning a quick tuning pass on the Arbalist, but it won't be ready in time for February 9th, so we are expecting to have to touch it later in Season 13. So Arbalist people, enjoy your reign of terror while it lasts. They're coming for you, like the Truth rocket launcher.
Ruh-roh.
And as always, here's your buffs, here's your nerfs. When the season drops, they'll probably put out their nice post of here's all the patch notes with all the actual numbers they're going to give us. And they eagerly await your feedback. Happy, sad, mad, glad, all the feedback. And now Respawn, we're putting something else into the content vault.
Ruh-roh.
The days are over. The Crimson has come to an end. Crimson Days goes into the content vault. It was one of their first seasonal events in Destiny 1, a tradition they carried into Destiny 2 that they largely forgot about, and now they're just going to say, instead of bringing it back the same exact way with all the same issues, we're just going to put it in the content vault, and we're not going to think about it anymore. So for those of you who don't know, Crimson Days was an event around Valentine's Day that featured the Crimson Doubles game type, which was 2 people in Crucible, 2v2s.
Yep.
The fun part about this was it had a unique perk where you had to stick next to each other to form your Crimson Bond. So if you were close to each other, you wouldn't show up on the enemy's radar. You get some health perks and things like that. But if you strayed too far, you would break your bond. Both players would show up on the enemy's radar, and it'd each be a little bit weaker. And when one of you did die, the remaining person in the party got basically boost to like your shield, your reload speed, your movement. It sort of gave you, not like super overpowered boosts, but like a little bit of boost to everything. It sort of gave you
revenge boost. Yeah,
that 2v1. And it was just, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. It was just a fun change because it was events unlike Trials where only the best of the best jumped in. It was just a regular event in Crucible. So everybody jumped into it. You would get super good teams that would stomp you. You get teams that didn't play much Crucible. You could tell who were just running around having a good time. It was a good game type because I played a lot of it, and it was just good fun. And you didn't even need a second person.
That's because you and your buddy both had the sweet business. It was not even fair.
Okay, well, yes, and I did jump in a couple of years with dual sweet businesses, dual top tree Archetypes with double grenades, and our game plan was more just to like keep away from the heavy than to actually kill the other team. But if they got too close, they got picked with bullets. But no, I played so much of that just as a solo person because you didn't. I mean, yeah, it certainly helped to have someone you could talk to. But my game plan was like, I'm just going to stick with whoever my random blueberry is, and that's how we're going to run this. And it didn't really matter. So I will miss this because I really enjoyed it. Do you care? Did you play it much?
I didn't play it much, but the few times I did play it, also fun fact, the very first time I think I actually played a game with Nitedemon was that game mode, right? He and I went in there right in the beginning whenever I first met him and come in contact, and we did that, and we did well together. We did very well, but
nice.
Yeah, I think we did the next year or two together, but after that, I was done with Crucible. So, yeah, I did very much enjoy the game mode and everything about it. But as far as this going away, it's a Crucible thing, so I'm just kind of meh. Right.
Yeah, it goes into the vault along with the.
That's the disconnect button, not the mute button.
Okay. I heard something disconnected. It was like, I hope that wasn't Gear. I hope that was Respawn. Not that I want you to leave, but you're not the one recording the show.
Wow, I feel the love.
No. I was just like. You know what I mean? I was like, if anyone would leave, at least it was.
I get what you're saying, but I gotta mess with you. It's just par for the course.
Exactly.
Oh goodness.
Well, now we've made it down to bug tracks. Talk about them bug tracks. So yeah, as a reminder again, Crucible tokens and fragment quests. Complete them or they go away.
Dun dun dun.
If you've got Crucible tokens in your vault, delete, turn them all into shacks. Have a good old shacks party. Crucible token gifts no longer needed. All of this will be deprecated into chunk that will delete as a full stack starting in season 13. That's February 9th.
Was it you in the band chat that was asking who to spend it on? Who to spend all your like 18,000 tokens on? Was that you?
Yep, that was me. I've got almost 9, just shy of 19,000 in Crucible.
Golly.
And I was like, I'm going to spend them because I turned a couple on the Titan and they were only giving me, I'm like 1250, 354, without the artifact.
Sure.
And so I turned them in and it was giving me 12-4 gear. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be powerful. I was like, is there a reason to do this on another character, or should I just turn them all in and get whatever?
Well, no, you need to turn them all in, and I say that because if nothing else,
it was just a question of, do I turn them all in like on the Warlock and get, because obviously I haven't played with the Warlock or Hunter this season much, so do I turn them all in like on the Warlock and Hunter just to get the armor sets and blah 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 whatever, or just turn them all on Titan and say none of this matters, it's just for the materials anyway? Because
exactly, materials, that's where I would go, because the Crucible armor doesn't really look any different from Vanguard. It's just a different color scheme, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, if you like that style of armor, you have options, but I mean, I would say just material, dude. Materials. That's all you need it for.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's exactly why I was going to turn them all in versus letting them get junked. I'm like, those materials. So I was keeping those, thinking one day I would turn them in. Well, that day has come. Not because they're going away. And apparently, all your stasis fragment quests also go away at the end of the season, which I think there's some I haven't finished yet because I just haven't been motivated to do so. So yeah, if you're trying to get your fragment quests done, do them. If not, don't. Do the fragments go? This is what I can't remember from week to week. Do the fragments go away at the end of this season? Do we still have those? Or are those tied to the past? I've lost track. And
what fragments are you asking about?
Your stasis fragments, because the stasis fragment quests
go away. They go away. If you didn't spend them on abilities, they're going bye.
Okay, so there's no reason to have those There's no reason to try to rush and get these done unless they're.
Unless you don't have the abilities, then yes, there's a reason.
I'm sure Nitedemon will tell you too. There's some sort of triumph link to it. So yeah. So if you're trying to get them done by the end of the season, do that. If not, don't. But Crucible tokens, delete them all. Just go to Shack's, spend an hour, delete them all.
Well, you're gonna spend a lot more than an hour deleting yours, my friend.
No, it'll be fine. I'm gonna set the button there and go. Okay, here you go. See, if you had a child in the house,
I was gonna say this is an advantage of having children. You make them do it.
I could probably set up something just a little macro to hit the button every now and again just to go press.
Right.
If you're on PC, it's easy. Just set up a little key mapper and be like, press this button every couple seconds. Press, depress, press, depress.
Well, there's a macro, right, where you can hit a button, and one of the options is literally indefinitely, right, depending on the macro. So you just, hey, every 2 seconds, press this button and do it indefinitely until you open the macro and turn it off.
Well, although the only problem with doing that is, as I'm remembering, you know how they like to rearrange your inventory every now and again?
That's true.
So you may be deleting 6,000 Crucible tokens, and all of a sudden,
you have 6,599 Crucible tokens and nothing else.
There goes everything else in your inventory. So
right,
do that route. Maybe move everything else out that you care about, because it may go away forever, and then you'll be very sad that you just deleted all of the good things.
Indeed.
Anyway, so known issues. Deleting Crucible tokens. It's a known issue. It takes a while. Other known issues, your stasis ability can become difficult to distinguish between enemy and friendly for colorblind players.
That's true. That is very accurate. Yep.
Yeah. The double terrible triumph is unobtainable. Can't do it.
I actually don't know what that is.
I don't know either, but you can't get it, so it doesn't matter. In the Deep Stone Grip raid, the augment lockout timer occasionally resets during the final encounter against Tanix. Just occasionally, when it feels like it. During the final fight in the Sanctified Mind of the Garden of Salvation raid, sometimes a shielded tether box can become tethered instead of the correct glowing tether box.
Ruh-roh.
Hunters, if you're wearing your 10 grasp Sword Sparrow, your legs are going to clip through it, so you're going to have to run Flintstone style while using that Sparrow.
Man. There go my new shoes.
In the last raid wish, the Shiro Chi puzzle plates don't work if a Titan Bubble or Warlock will place on them.
What an awkward thing.
I feel like they mentioned these last week, but we're going to read them again because they've put them in here again for us.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so Titan Bubble or Warlock.
Basically, it's still broken. There you go.
Still broken. Titans, if you're wearing your phenotype plasticity helm, your eye clusters no longer glow red. In other news, they glowed red to begin with. You can tell I care.
Yeah, right.
Weekly and daily elemental kill bounties have stopped rotating off of Void. I noticed that because I picked them up, just the Gunsmith bounties, and every week I'm like, seems like it's Void again. Every week it's Void, and sure enough, it was.
There you go.
And when overcharging your grenades using your Voidwalker tree subclass as a Warlock, as opposed to using your Voidwalker top tree subclass as a Titan or a Hunter, your super energy stops charging.
What?
Yeah. When you're overcharging your grenades using the Voidwalker tree, your super energy stops charging.
Oh my god!
So
that is not a good bug, Bungie. That's not a good bug.
No, that seems very bad. So that was our list of emergent issues in D2. As always, we'll link the known issues article for all the known issues if you see it reported to Bungie, so they can look into it and hopefully get it fixed. So Hunters will be able to ride Sparrows again. Warlocks will be able to have Super, and Titan Eyes will glow red.
Now they ruin our shoes. Yeah.
And there's a Deep Stone Lullaby, violin and piano cover in the trial this week. Go listen to it. It's worth your time. It's lovely.
Is it though?
It is, because it's a beautiful song and a beautiful version of it.
Oh, yeah.
And one final thing, and as always, there's movies of the week, there's art of the week. Go look at it. It's pretty. We like it. And that's it this week. So, Season of Redacted's almost here. We'll have some patch previews in the coming week's TWAB. And Bungie did tweet on the Destiny 2 account, if this gets 7 likes, we'll add a new landing zone on Europa next season.
God. I just, part of me imagined just to troll, make sure there's 6 likes. Nobody put any more likes after that. Just put 6 and leave it there.
It's at 47,000 likes at this point. However, I firmly believe they're going to put the new landing zone between the first 2 landing zones in that canyon, as opposed to
they did specify it was going to be the north part of the map. So
no love. That's good.
No love for that.
Because I read that and my immediate thought was, it'll be stupid and useless, but we'll give it to you.
Right? Goodness.
And yeah, so that's our twab for this week.
Twab. Now we have my turn to do this stuff. Response report, and it's a roundup. Time to talk about the stuff that I forgot about. Time to do a response report roundup. Okay, 31st.
We have both beautiful pictures provided by Nitedemon, and we have an actual Destiny roundup from our Ramshackle Shotgun producer at DestinyRoundup.com.
Well, there you go then. All right, here we go. Cosmo, everybody, our favorite stellar
community
name
manager and beverage.
Sure. It is a beverage and a magazine, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so feedback forwarded. Take a drink. That players would like to see more if solo content, such as Europa Lost Sectors and alike, but at length. Add gilding to raid titles with flawless requirements. Hey, I have a flawless raid thing now. Cool. Sunsetting.
Wait for that season, and then it goes away.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so sunsetting. My page done did reset. They're taking some time to validate plans and will share out a State of Destiny 2021 next season Reddit link. That players would like to see more armor sets outside of aspirational activities. I guess that means raids, things like that, I suppose. To update the vendor dialogue. By the way, it says feedback forwarded to do all these things. So every one of these things I've mentioned, technically you guys should be taking a drink. And again, feedback forwarded about various points of feedback found here, which is a link. I am not about to go there. I want to save your kidneys. We'll put that in the description at the bottom. All right. DMG feedback forwarded. So I'll go ahead and let you know there's 3 of them. Take 3 more drinks. Feedback forwarded that some players would like to see rewards such as tokens drop in trials, even if you lose. Well, why not? You get them in freaking Crucible if you lose, right?
Yeah, give me try. Yeah, if you want to do it in the trials, give us a reason to do it other than getting stomped. Give me something out of it.
Right. Yeah, tokens are a thing. Yeah, you know what? I support this. I absolutely support this. Thank you. Yes, that's good feedback actually for once. All right, cool. Feedback forwarded that some players feel that SMGs need rebalancing. Well, we've already covered that, so that's coming. Cool.
And there's also just a bunch of other feedback around trials about people, swords and third person peeking and blah blah blah. They're forwarding all the feedback about all the trials.
Yep. All right, now we got some miscellaneous stuff here. Team is hammering down on out-of-bounds PvP maps to be fixed in future patches. No info at this time regarding the bugged Triumph for collecting all feathers, but the team is investigating.
At least confirmed. The Trial Revive sound cue is not playing, and that is a bug.
What?
The Trials Revive sound cue is not playing, is a bug.
You know what? I really need to turn on the sound in Destiny because there's a lot of stuff I miss out on. When I first did the rhythm, like, oh my god, this music is so beautiful, and then I turned it on, and oh my god, it was right. But for the most part, I play Destiny with no sound, like for real. Unless I'm playing PvP, then you gotta have sound. But for the most part, just no sound, and I miss out on a lot. I didn't even know there was a queue. Didn't know. There you
go. Well, there isn't because it's bugged.
Well, there wasn't, but well, there you go. Bullet dodged on that one. Whew. Okay. No info at this time regarding. Okay, I'm sorry. No details at this time if there will be an opt-in or out for crossplay. That's actually a good question, guys. I didn't even think about that. Like, hey, I don't want to play against PC players, or hey, I don't want to play against console players. That should be a thing, but that seems really hard to do on the back end. So I'll give Bungie credit if that's not a thing.
Yeah, and is it for everything, or is it just let me play with everybody for PvE activity, PvP? What level are they going to have on that, if at all?
Right. All right. And Joe Blackburn on stability changes per this week at Bungie. We definitely want to make sure stability, like all of our stats, are important across all platforms. We're hoping that this change will help make sure stability and related perks feel valuable on MNK, mouse and keyboard. We will be looking at data usage to ensure we didn't go too far. Now, again, I understand that he makes a valid point here. But again, Bungie, I liked ignoring very largely my stability stat. So, you make a good point, but I still hate you. Okay. As long as we're clear on this.
I understand it's dumb, and I want it to continue being dumb. Thank you.
Yeah, right? That is my very particular version of stupid. Leave it alone. Cosmo, the team is aware of the feedback around 3 peaking and currently discussing possible options. No promises, as we are still investigating on what changes are viable since it's a complicated issue that affects both emotes, swords, and... Oh my god, I hit the space button. What did I do? What happened?
And potential future third-person
Yep. And potential future third-person weapons. Cool. DMG, now that we are covered in a bunch of changes... I'm sorry, now that we have covered, not are covered, a bunch of changes
falling from the sky.
Coming to systems, we can start showing some of the new stuff. Can't wait for the trailer on Tuesday. See you then. Destiny 2, Trials of Osiris, Season of the Redacted Armor, coming soon. Now, see, that armor, that Hunter armor alone makes me want to play some Trials, right? That is some sexy Hunter armor coming up next season.
But is that the new armor, or is that the flawless armor, or is it armor you're never going to see because the Trials, and there's just no reason to go on the Trials even?
Hey guys, Respawn looking for a carry in Trials. Message me if you're willing to do it. True Vanguard, stability stat got a buff. It matters now. This changes what's important on a weapon. He's right. He's replying to Cammy Cakes, who said instead of a god roll looking like full bore extended magazine and something hammer, Rico H. Okay, there's a lot of stuff in there that I should know that I don't. So read that yourself.
Yeah.
Joe Black,
saying you'll look for different god rolls now.
So Joe Blackburn says we definitely want to make sure stability, like all of our stats, are important. We said that. Okay, cool.
Okay, so that was what he was replying to in the Destiny round. Good.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Issues causing Xbox 360 players on D1 to encounter Newt and errors indicating your permissions to access online multiplayer may have changed, have subsided. Well, there you go, everybody who still plays D1.
On a 360. You can
on a 360 now. Yeah. Nighthawk, I was kicked out of the game on our flawless match, and then I rejoined the other team? What? Possibly a new bug? DMG says, well, that's the first. Assuming this has been a possibility, but extremely hard to reproduce, you may be the first guy to hit it since Trials came back. We'll pass this up for investigation. Thanks. Wow.
Congratulations.
What fudge, dude. What the actual fudge. All right.
They should give him some sort of a triumph or award or achievement or a medal.
Absolutely. Like, thanks for finding the bug. Guy.
Amazing.
Or thanks for streaming the bug, maybe. I don't know. Whew. Okay. Now, hold on. I got a couple things I need to ask you, because I responded to this guy, but I promised him I'd ask you on the show. Okay? So he's asked me a lot of questions. Some of them are opinions and this and that. There's a couple of lore questions, which I reserved for not ARF, so we'll circle back to that.
Put that in the parking lot. Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. Sounds right. Hold on. He had an opinion question. He's asked me a lot of questions. I have to find the one that's not lore related. Hold on. Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. So basically, he asked me, is Shadowkeep worth getting? He says he doesn't want to spend $15 just for Arena's Vow and the other weapons. I told him I don't think so, since those weapons are mostly going to be sunsetted anyway, right? But now after reading the TWAB and saying, hey, we're going to get new moon weapons, maybe he should. What's your opinion on that?
it really all boils down to, is it more of are you coming back to the game question, or I'm playing the game, but
he's actively playing it. He just doesn't have it.
Okay. If you're actively playing it and you're enjoying it, throw the money down on it, especially because I think it's all on sale right now.
Well, yeah, that's why it's $15 instead of $30 like it used to be. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Throw the extra bucks down. It'll give you the new content. You'll get the new stuff that's coming there, and you have more game to play. And if it's a game you're loving, play more game.
Exactly.
That, especially at half price.
Yep.
You're getting the same game that we all pay double half price for.
Yeah. See, there you go. There's a bonus right there, man. You can get half price for the same content.
Mm-hmm.
As far as all the other questions you had, those are mostly lore. So I'm going to let our lore guy handle that. But the one asking all these questions, his name is RYZNYZ. That probably has a way to pronounce it. I'm not going to try. There you go, bud.
That's our buddy Ellis Rogers.
Is it? Okay. Well, yeah, him. Yep. So I'm good. Is there anything you wanted to discuss, Mr. Peroty?
I do realize that a certain Brit would be very upset with us if we didn't mention. Where did I put that screenshot?
The thing we're not going to mention. Great show, guys. See you next week.
I swear I shared the Next Week in Destiny.
You did. You put it in the, I think it was the podcast info channel.
And now I've lost it completely.
It's the very last thing, I believe.
Oh, right. It's above all the... So I would be remiss in Nitedemon. You can paste this at the front of the... Next Week in Destiny, the final Iron Banner ever.
It's the final... Wait, what?
No, it's the final Iron Banner of the season.
Oh. I was going to say it's the final countdown. You completely wollybocked me, dude. I was like, wait, whatever. Hold on.
No, the final Iron Banner of the season arrives. Enjoy boosted valor all week long. Shax is also bringing Clash to the Crucible because he's like, I could bring you something good, but Iron Banner's here, so why bother? And there's only 1 week left in Season of the Hunt. So delete your Crucible tokens, play some Iron Banner, and get things done you're trying to get done.
Start hunting? Question mark.
And as we discussed, don't hoard your bounties for next season because they're all going to get deleted. So don't bother.
No more power leveling. Have you seen the YouTuber feedback on that? I wonder what they think about it. So all these YouTubers that depended on that to get a leg up for their raid stuff, right? They were all whining about how many people completed the raid last time. So how do they feel about this now that they can't get an edge up on people? They have to start at the same place as everybody else.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't. Although you raise a good point that I actually dutifully watched these videos, made notes, and was going to completely ignore them and forget they happened and close the show out. So,
tips, tricks, and whoops.
you think maybe by the time we hit 200 episodes, we'll know how the show runs.
Nah.
Tricks, builds, and guides. Yeah, Cheese Forever, as we mentioned, he has a video you can control your fellow guardians in Grandmaster Nightfalls because no one loves anything more than being killed by their own teammates in Grandmaster Nightfalls by using the symmetry to shoot them in the feet when they spawn in. Because you can't move there for a second when you spawn in, and if you play your cards right, you can murder your teammates.
Oof.
And again, poor Nitedemon. Last week he talked us through all how to get your 5 feathers in the Harbinger, where all the weapons are. He took you on an auditory vision through
which
that quest.
We are sorry for that, by the way. If you listen to that whole thing, that was not us. He's the editor. We couldn't do anything about it. I'm so sorry.
He took you on the story, and then Bungie said that's good. We're going to change it this week. So Ebontis has a video taking you through Harbinger's week 2, where your paracausal feather locations are, the new boss mechanics, all the things that have changed. They're all trying to run it this week. Maybe worth checking out that video so you can see what's awaiting you, what's there. Ebontis also has an easy Warden Seal for fast triumphs and easy Wrathborn kills. So if you're trying to get your Warden Seal before the end of the season, because it is quickly approaching, go check out that video. If you said, I've run the Harbinger, I've done the thing, I just need all 5 locations for my feathers, Esoteric's got you covered with his all 5 feather locations and Harbinger locations week 2 guide video.
Dun, 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 dun.
And Patty Cakes Gaming, he has a long, in-depth interview with the other YouTuber Brave X Hero, where they talk about how to make better Destiny 2 builds, which is an hour long. And I'll be honest, I didn't watch it all because I didn't know I needed an hour to watch it all.
Oof.
But I listened to the first 20 or so minutes of it, and they talk about just sort of gameplay mentality and builds and Yeah, it's sort of a nice like longer form interview and just talking about playing the game and making builds in the game. And unofficial friend of the show, Fallout Plays, he has a video this week. What resilience should I run? And I'll tell you 5. 5 is what you should run.
Wow, that's a video that probably explains why it's 5. But yeah.
And maybe I'm lying to you. Maybe it's not 5, but you should go watch the Fallout Plays video. We'll link it in the show notes as always.
Yeah, you definitely should. Peroty is universally untrustworthy. Okay.
Yeah, I could be completely lying to you.
Yep.
But he actually breaks down what you should run, why it matters, and also the answer is not just 5 in all situations. The answer depends on what kind of foes are you fighting against, who are you playing against, are you on your Trials Game 7 match? So go watch his video. As always, he has a deep dive into it. And one more video this week from Fallout Plays, the Behemoth Titan bug and the Shadow Dive Fissures nerf update. So they did nerf the Whisper of Fissures. That's the bad news. The good news is it's still really, really strong. So it's still going to give you one-hit kills real close up, and the damage does fall off as you get further away. But there does seem to be a bug.
Unless you're a Titan.
Yeah, there does seem to be a bug with the Behemoth Titan, and he numbers and stuff. But yeah, it seems like the Behemoth Titan in the Super has a lot more resistance than you would expect. So yeah, go watch his video. He, as always, gives you all the deep numbers.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll put those links in the show notes. So yeah, we did it. We made it. We didn't forget a major part of the show. The British man wasn't here to keep us on track.
I mean,
until we get to the end and he says, "Hey guys, you forgot this, and this," and we say, "We did our best."
Yeah, you should have been there. Yeah, it's your job to keep us on track. You failed.
We're doing our best. Yeah. So this has been 2 Americans and no Brits. Your Titan is Peroty. Your Hunter is no one responds in real life.
Stop.
Nitedemon and Nadar for currently quarantining off the shores on their tiny island nation. You can email the show at 2titansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can find the show on Twitter at 2titans_hunter. You can find the show on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, and really anywhere you can find a podcast. There we are, just like the Truth Rocket, waiting to find you. We're on Xbox Live, Respawn's on PC. You can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. Truth Rockets will hit you. And Respawn, you want to know the real reason Crimson Days is canceled?
Yes.
It's because Mara broke up with Shax, so he canceled it.
What? No, they did.